Hey folks, just tying up some loose ends here on a very unusual May day. It's 27 degrees today, pretty hot. We decided to let our bodies rest a bit before we go and haul stone some more. Still more stone to haul. What I've done, again, we've explained in other videos, I went down a foot and out a foot around the perimeter of the garden. This chicken wire is 6 foot, so it actually goes down and then goes out a foot underground, and then I buried it again. The idea is that groundhogs aren't smart enough to like back up and dig at a distance. They're going to go up to the fence to get at the vegetables. If they can't get through the fence, they'll try to dig down. If they dig down, eventually when they get a foot down, they're going to hit that fence again, and that should be enough to deter them. They're not going to be smart enough to step back a couple feet and try to dig down and underneath the chicken wire. They just kind of give up. They might try to dig under another part of the fence, but they're going to have the same experience each time. Now, where the door opens, I just laid down a sheet of chicken wire just underneath the sod that we placed, so that the chicken wire runs out. Same thing, if they try to dig the ground, they're going to hit the chicken wire and hopefully stop because they can't dig through it. And then what I did here is I used another piece of 3x3 cedar to join up the 2 gate posts. And then this is the gate that I built. It's very simple, very lightweight. It's all made of cedar. And the chicken wire here, I just cut it at the one end. So you can see this is one continuous piece that goes all the way around the corner. And the reason I did that is rather than cut it off separate, all I'm going to do is staple it up flush to the one post. And then I'm going to staple it to the frame of the door because it'll open and close and bend with the door anyways. And that's just so temporarily I could hook it across, and although there's no vegetables in there now really that groundhog is going to go after. They have much more to select outside of the garden than they do inside at the moment, but almost there.
So we made it to the end of May, and it is time to finally cut the grass. There's a few areas that are longer than others. It's different all over the property. So in those areas, it's probably going to take a few times over. But it was all worth it if we help the bees. It is going to be a relief to get it done, though, because it's become quite cumbersome having it that long on the property getting stuff done. So yeah, we're going to get at her.
Hey folks, welcome to Garden 2.0. So far so good. The potatoes we're super pleased with. Like, they've just kind of taken off and are off to the races. I have just today just kind of went in between them all, broke up the soil a little bit and piled it up. Just a quick note on potatoes. I haven't done this yet, but I've read that one really handy way to do, like, kind of to use your space efficiently is to raise garden. So what you do is you'd have a box around, so like 4 posts, and you put boards around all 4 sides. It's important that you screw them in so that you can remove them later. And the idea is you fill up the earth in that first kind of box made with those boards around the posts. And then when the potatoes start to grow like ours are, then you would add another set of boards around it, and then you would fill in earth up to but not covering the leaves of the potatoes. And then again it'll continue to grow, and then add, rinse, repeat. You keep doing that, and then after whatever the period of time is when you can start harvesting potatoes, what you do is you unscrew the bottom set of boards at the bottom, and then you can reach in through the soil and you can remove the potatoes that are ready there, and you put the boards back in, and then, you know, wait however long, take off the second set of boards, and then add, rinse, repeat, keep going. What I don't know yet, I haven't read, is whether or not potatoes you know, continue to form in the same spots in the roots. Like, in other words, once you get to the top, can you just go back and start at the bottom again? But I'll figure that out. I'll update you guys as we go. But with this, all I'm doing is I've added some soil and piled it up around the greens to cover them a bit. We're going to be doing all this excavation in that. I'm going to try and be careful to remove the topsoil and set it aside so it doesn't get mixed up with all the clay and less desirable earth that's beneath when we dig that foundation. And then some of the topsoil will continue to use to cover the potatoes and kind of do the same thing, just in a less structured way. Just pile it up, pile it up, and pile it up, and cover the greens. So eventually we're digging down to the base of the mounds to start to get potatoes that are ready, and then work our way up, you know, over the course of the summer. Now, other things that have done well, I can say kale. Kale is very hardy, very frost resistant. I think next year what we'll do is, as soon as we can see that, you know, we're likely not to get another frost, kale's going to just go right in the ground seeded. It seems to be doing better than the seedlings. It's nice and dark green, and it's growing fairly quick. The corn has come up, seems to be doing really well. We're pleased about that. Radishes, I don't see much sign of the carrots, so we might replant those. The peas took a severe beating from the frost and did not make it, nor did any of our original cucumbers, but I planted those by seed. They seem to be popping up. I put a rando squash over here, zucchini over here, and a pumpkin over there, because they need a ton of space. And, you know, most of the sod and the grass and that was missing from the beavers doing their excavation in the spring. So I figured, I'll just dig that up, although in hindsight it does make a bit of a challenge for us when we mow the lawn. I'm going to try to think of what else we planted. Oh, we got provider beans along the back row. They're coming up. They're only about 4 inches, but I imagine they'll suddenly take off. And we have some lettuce over here. I can't say that I'm super happy about the lettuce. It's not growing particularly fast. I'd almost say that the lettuce that we found in random in our walkway was doing better, but I am going to plant some more anywhere where I see the space, either because the seeds didn't germinate or who knows. But that way we kind of stagger it out, and we'll have lettuce coming up all throughout the summer. I'll just keep doing that. I'll plant it wherever I see, you know, space for something to grow. You know, what's the harm? Especially with lettuce, even if it doesn't get to grow to the full size, we can kind of pick the leaves as we go and make salads and yada yada. Oh, and also tomatoes in the middle. They're doing well. We have some tomatoes up in a pot too. I just took out 2 of the seedlings and left the one that's going to be the winner. It seemed to be the biggest and strongest. But yeah, I might even grow some carrots in the other pot just for S&Gs. See how that goes.